Math Plus, where math makes sense. This is a practice video. It follows up a lesson video called Name the Parts of a Fraction. In this video, you will practice naming the fractions using 4 different ways of depicting fractions. If you haven't watched the lesson video, be sure to hit the link above on how to name fractions. Once you watch the lesson, then come back and practice with me. I'm going to depict different models of ways that you can name fractions of the different pictures. This one is write the fraction. This is what we call a fraction model. I want you to write the fraction of the unshaded part and then the shaded part. You can pause the video, work it out, and then come back and watch me solve it. This is the most common way that we see fractions is just with a model. You'll get a circle, a triangle, rectangle, square, broken up into smaller pieces, and then you can write the fraction. We are going to look at the unshaded part. This is the part that anytime you're asked to write a fraction, make sure you pay attention to what you're looking at, because you could write 2 different fractions for the same model. Unshaded means all the white parts. So I always like to write my denominator, my bottom number first, because that's all the parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to write down the numerator, and it is 6 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my fraction for the unshaded part of this model is 6/8. Now I do the same thing on the shaded part. I put the 8 at the bottom because it's the same model. I don't have to go back and recount them. And then there's only 1, 2 parts that are pink, that are shaded. Now we're going to write a fraction for a set. This is what we call a set or a group. They're both more or less interchangeable. First, you will write the fraction of the strawberries that are circled, and then write a fraction of the strawberries that are not circled. Again, you can get 2 fractions out of this picture. Pause your video, solve it, and then come back. I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to write my denominator first, that number at the bottom, the D down under. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strawberries. Now I can go ahead and write that 6 on both numbers, because on both fractions, because it's the same. How many are circled? Only 1. 1/6 of the strawberries are circled. What fractions are not circled? That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/6 of the strawberries are not circled. This model is what we call a fraction bar. It's another way of depicting fractions. It's a long bar. Now this is a simple one. It's short, but you can get pretty long bars with fractions on them. And you'll find later that this is how we compare fractions. This is how we try to find equivalent fractions. So fraction bars play a huge role in helping you to understand fractions, and we'll have videos on that later. But right now, I just want you to write the fraction for the fraction bar. And the first question says, what part of the fraction bar is shaded? What part of the fraction bar is not shaded? Pause your video, work it out, and come back. I have counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts all together. That is my denominator. It will be the same for both answers. And on the top it says, what is the shaded part? That would be 2. And then there's 3 left that are unshaded. I think you're getting pretty good at this, right? This is a fraction number line. I want you to give me the fraction for this spot right here where the red arrow is pointing. Now, some of you may not have done this before, but do your best. See if you can figure it out and then come back. And I'm going to give you a little tip on how to make this easier if this is something that's new to you. You can pause the video, work it out, and then come back. Now there's 2 ways that I am going to show you to solve this, okay? First of all, we need to know what fraction of this bar, how many parts is it broken up into? And what you can do is just write your fractions underneath each line. I've seen students do this, and it's very helpful because they can see that each one of those lines represents a fraction. Now that is one whole, that doesn't change. Now I know that this is broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. So my denominator is a 5. right? That line would represent 1/5. This line is 2/5. This line is 3/5. This line where the arrow is 4/5. And I like to go all the way to number 1. 5/5 is the same as 1 whole, okay? So the answer, yes, that dot is at 4/5 on the number line. I have found that some people get really confused because there's too many numbers and as sometimes people want to count the lines for for the fractions. Here's another way that'll help you visualize it easier. I went ahead and drew a fraction bar on top of my number line, especially if you're new at this. This is like fantastic because we know how to find fractions in models and in fraction bars, right? It's pretty obvious. So what I'm going to do next, I drew it and all of the lines are exactly lined up with the lines on the number line. And then I drew it into a model, into a fraction bar. Now I'm going to color in everything from the beginning all the way right here to where I'm going to draw a line here. I'm going to color everything in from 0 over. Now, can you see 4/5? Is that easier for you to see? If that helps you find the fraction on a number line, go ahead and do that right now. Eventually, you won't need it anymore. Now I want you to write the fraction in name form. We know how to say it. Read that fraction and then write it out for me. Pause the video and then come back. If you read this fraction, it's 5/7. How do we write that as a word in name form? Well, we would write 5/7, just like that. And that's how we write a fraction in name form. You want to say it and then put it into words. I have a challenge one for you before we leave. I want you to work backwards. I want you to draw a picture showing 3/5 of 20. Now that one, you have some steps in there. If you can solve this, I'm going to say you probably really understand fractions. If you don't get it right, it's okay. I want you to challenge yourself though and see if you can figure this out. Take all the time you need. Pause the video, take all the time you need, and then come back. Instead of drawing all of my circles, I went in and made a copy so that I can move them around. And I'm thinking I'm going to organize them in a group of 20, but I'm going to line them up because it looks like I need to have 20 of something, right? 20 things in a set. So right here, I'm going to put them in a set where I'm thinking ahead that if I need 3/5 of that set, I'm going to think of this as a big rectangle where I can break my rectangle into fifths. And let me show you how I'm doing this, okay? I'm going to go ahead and use these lines. I'm going to think of this as a big rectangle, and I'm going to draw lines around it. Kind of even like a fraction bar if you want to think of that, or a model. It's not really a bar, it's a rectangle. But I have to break it up into fifths because that's what that bottom denominator is, okay? So if I draw these lines down here, each fifth has 4 circles in it. Can you see that? So now I have fifths, 5 sections on here. And my directions are to show 3/5 of that. So I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to circle 3 out of those 5 sections. 1, 2, 3. That is 3/5 of 20. Now, how many circles are there in 3/5 of 20? So we have 4, 8, 12. So there, if you want to know 3/5 of 20 equals 12. That was a little challenging. If you didn't get it right, that's okay. But I just wanted to show you how fractions, we're getting ready to start adding and subtracting and doing more complicated things. So once you understand it, you can move on. I'm going to put a extra practice in the description under the video like I always do, and you can just print off those worksheet pages and practice, and then we'll see you on the next video.